Hey, what's up? I hope you're having a great day today. I think I speak for all the audio community when I say we all love Pultecs. Do you love Pultecs? I love Pultecs.
I love Pultecs too.
Do you even know what a Pultec is? Whatever, it doesn't really matter because what I'm about to show you right now, it's way better than a Pultec. So if you didn't know what it was, it doesn't really matter. But if you know what a Pultec is and you already love them, I'm going to show you the next best thing. Let's go check it out together. I'm Jorge Lanzasing now. We break it down, baby. Alright, my friend, thank you so much for being here once again in another video. And as usual, remember to like, subscribe, and do all those cool little things I would like to do on YouTube so that you and I can stay in touch with each other. I'm not gonna lie to you, when I first got this plugin, I was a little bit puzzled about it. When Jesse hit me up, he was like so excited about the plugin. So of course, I got super excited. But after I was like done downloading and installing the plugin, I started reading up on the manual and then I was like, really? A channel strip? But then of course I loaded it into a session that I had to start that particular day and boom, I was blown away. So let's just stop the talking, get to the rocking, and let's go check Virelia by Mixland. Alright, my friends, so here we are in Pro Tools, and as you can see, we had Virelia loaded up right now. And at first glance, it might look a little bit daunting, but the second we start using it, you're gonna see how easy and intuitive this user interface is. And before we get started, this will be the perfect moment for you to go get a great set of headphones, speakers, AirPods, whatever you feel comfortable listening to music so that we can have a meaningful conversation in the comment section down below. Alright, let's do this. Alright, so right now I have loaded up my new song, Nothing Like Christmas, coming out on December 1st, 2025. Make sure that you go run it up if it came out already, and if it didn't, make sure you go pre-save. Anyway, so let's just listen to what we have right. Anyway, I don't mean to bore you with the song. Let's start by listening to a quick A and B. That bass sounds really good, right? Now let's hear it with Virelia. And that was the first thing that I noticed about this plugin. Everything is like super smooth. Anywhere from the compressor, like we were just talking about, and then the EQ, the filters, everything is like super smooth. In the beginning, you're just like, wait, is something really happening? And that's why you see how extreme I'm being with this plugin. Not without paying like any of the consequences, really. Okay, so first we have an input and an output. And I love how they went with like this like screw design. Then we have a Pultec style EQ, where you have a low frequency knob or section, if you want to call it that, and then you have an attenuation section. But better than the Pultec is that you can actually choose both frequencies differently in an infinitely variable pot. Also very cool right now, true for all Mixland plugins, you have a redo and undo button. So we're gonna undo that mess that I created in this knob. Then right here in the center, we have our mid-frequency band, which is again another thing that a Pultec doesn't have. And this is one of the best controllers. Look how extreme I'm being with it. But as you can tell, no matter if I push it all the way up or all the way down, it still sounds great. Tell me which one is better. The way that the Q is functioning and how narrow that band gets when you're pushing it all the way up and all the way down as well, makes it that there's nothing you can do that doesn't sound musical, because those two extremes sounding musical to me. And the fact that you can choose your frequency anywhere from 100 to 800 hertz, huge win, because those are usually the frequencies that you are going to have in every single instrument that are going to be the bread and butter of your mixing. Pro tip. Okay, he brought the pro tips back. Whatever, what I wanted to say is like, usually since every single instrument has mid-range, that's where you're going to find most of the masking happening. And a lot of mixing is just basically determining what part of the mid-range which instrument is going to get. So by having a fully sweepable mid-frequency, you can guarantee that you can actually mix every single instrument with just one plugin. Basically starting to showing us the power of this beast, right? And then similar to the low frequencies, we have a high frequency boost and a high frequency attenuation with independent frequency control and now a bandwidth control, basically allowing you to manually determine the shape of the band that you're using in this case. And I wanted you to pay attention to how the frequencies even though they do overlap, there's a little bit of leeway. For example, in the attenuation, they go all the way to 30K. And in the low frequencies, they go all the way to 400 instead of 200 in the boost section. Then right here on the right, you have a low pass, high pass, and total harmonics drive, and an on and off button. And again, they brought back the little screws to sweep your low pass frequency and your high pass frequency. Let's hear how buttery smooth that is. The more I discover this plugin, the more I know that I could mix a whole record just with it. Maybe that should be a challenge, huh? Listen to how smooth it is right here in the mid-range. It never feels like telephony, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times when you're like actually taking all the lows out, it starts getting thin and almost like annoying. But in this case, it just feels like the neck of the bass with nothing of the rumble, basically. So I can imagine this plugin being really, really good for like metal bass because you can split those bands very easily and manipulate them independently too. Now let's hear what happens with the total harmonics drive. So much mojo, right? Then we can go to our compressor area and we have a threshold, an attack, and a release. And then very, very specially, a fully variable feedback and feed forward knob. And you can switch the detection to peak or RMS, depending on the material that you have. If you want to control more peaks, then hit it to peaks. And if you want it to be more like a leveler, switch it to RMS. Basically, you can have almost like an 1176 and like an LA2A in the same plugin. So what is this plugin even? You know what I mean? It's insane. If you think about like from the perspective of a channel strip, it's just like a chimera of like heavy hitters. And then similar to the EQ section, we have a total harmonics drive, and now we have a stereo linking switch because like we've talked about, sometimes if you want to retain more of like the width of an instrument and you don't want to like touch it too much, the only way to achieve that when you're using dynamics is by allowing it to be sort of like two mono compressors instead of just like a stereo compressor. And that's exactly what this does. And then we have a high pass filter. So as you can see, there's enough control there that you can really do almost anything you want. And that's the reason why this plugin works so well in almost any instrument. Let's go check a few examples in drums and guitars and a little bit of vocals. I'm like super curious to know which is your favorite channel strip right now. The one that you can stop using on every single mix. For me has been for years the Metric Halo channel strip, and I'm still on version 3 and maybe one day I'm gonna switch to version 4, but not yet. I still love it the way it is. But I'm curious to know what you use. Let me know in the comment section down below, and while you're there, remember to like, subscribe, and do all those cool things I would like to do on YouTube. And enjoy this little bossa nova, my friend. I hope your day keeps getting better and better and better. Alright, let's keep making some noise. Okay, so now that we heard this plugin slapping that bass perfectly, let's hear it on some drums. And since I already told you about how gentle this plugin is and how smooth like butter it feels, let's just start with it on and then let's just take it off. That 8K, I don't know how wide this bandwidth is at 0.50, but man, it sounds really good on that little jingle. It's just keep it like super present all the time, and it just gives like this life to the drums. Let's hear it again. Listen to the rooms and like the overheads, how amazing they just open up so clear. And then this little blooming on the bottom end, what is it, 80 hertz? Yeah, that sounds really great on drums. And as you can see in this case, I'm using the feedback version and I am using it on RMS that you would think like, why is he using it like that? This is our drums. Why are you using like a leveler on drums? Well, because I'm just trying to actually do what I'm hearing right now and what you're hearing in the moment that I'm achieving, which is just like bring those rooms up a little bit, let my transient kick through, but not compress it too much, just make it a little bit even. And as you can see, I unlinked the threshold and the output level so that I was doing the compensation of the gain so that I could achieve the sound that I'm looking for, which is exactly what you're hearing, right? Let's hear one more time. And let's say maybe for your taste, my compression is a little bit too harsh. You can go to your blend screw right here and then maybe do like a little bit of like a wet dry situation, which I am not going to do here because I love to hear this compression all the way hot. And if you, like all of us, have this situation in your head always like, what's first, EQ or compression? Well, the people at Mixland know that and they allow you to change your signal path however you want it. Dynamics first, EQ after, or vice versa. And then if you're insecure with your choice, you can always go back. Then while we're here, let's check this thing about the user interface scale. Look at this idea. All of a sudden you only have your EQ. Then here you change the mode. Now you have only your dynamics. In case that maybe you're just using one or the other. But me, I want the whole thing. All right, let's hear it now in guitars. I just can't believe how smooth this thing is. This is probably the instance that I'm being like the most relaxed with it, but this is the one that actually showed me how cool the high pass and low pass filters are because I'm actually restricting the range in the guitar a little bit aggressively, some might say. Let's hear it. But again, it doesn't feel radio-y at all. So much so that I didn't feel like I had to like take any of the mid-range out. And this is going to be another pro tip. Don't feel like you always have to take mid-range out of instruments. Because actually, if you listen to some of your favorite records, a lot of stuff didn't have any scoop mid-range because you at the end of the day have to have some mid-range, right? Just choose wisely what frequencies you want and when you want them. Anyway, let's go back. I think in acoustic guitars, it actually really shines. It's one of my favorite uses for it. Okay, so here we are in my all-music boss, and let's just start by loading my Mixland plugin, Virelia. And let's just start tweaking a little bit, see what happens. So just by putting it on, you already hear the difference, right? It just sounds good. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, that little carve right there in the mid-range sounds stellar for me. Listen to how smooth that sounds. 127 with that punchy of a kick that I'm running right now, it should really be punishing our ears a little bit, but it sounds great. I feel like whatever that is really working nice on the kick drum, like the 127 hertz or whatever it is. But now let's hear what happens if we start playing with our high pass and low pass filters. Let's take this down again a notch. Anyway, I played way too much with that. Let's go get some vocals really quick. So at the end of this song, I have like this like choir, which is just basically a bunch of me's. Let's hear how it sounds with and without Virelia. And very importantly in this case is that you can see where I'm subtracting some of the mid-range. This is because that's where the lead vocal is very prominent. So let's hear how it sounds with and without.
Christmas, 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 Christmas. Like Christmas, 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 no Christmas, no Christmas, Christmas.
Let's hear what happens if I take Virelia off of the whole session. A massive A and B. Let's hear it.
Christmas, 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 no Christmas, 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 no Christmas, Christmas. It's nothing like Christmas, 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 no Christmas, no Christmas, Christmas.
So yeah, as you can tell, there's a lot of heavy lifting being done by Virelia, by Mixland. So let's just stop the talking. Let's go get a few conclusions. Whoa, this video got very long very quickly. But you know, I feel like I really needed to show you all these examples because I'm really using this plugin all over my session. And I'm gonna say that it wasn't really like a conscious decision that, okay, I'm gonna use this everywhere. Because every time I get a brand new plugin, I'm like very overzealous, especially when I'm actually mixing a song that needs to come out and I need to finish it by a certain date. I don't have time to just be like juggling around and think, oh, is this good? Is this not? If something sounds good, I'm going to keep using it. And if it doesn't, I'm just going to use it on that one thing and then I'm going to turn it off. But as you can tell in this case, Virelia, my Mixland, I'm using it on every single instrument in this session and it sounds great. Everything that you love from a Pultec, but better because you have all the sweepable frequencies, so it's suitable for different kinds of music. Doesn't matter if you do heavy metal, or if you do hip hop, or if you do something like more like poppy, Beatlesque, like folky, kind of like alternative rocky like this thing. Classical, whatever it is that you're doing, you name it, it's gonna sound great because everything feels so gentle, so musical, so like broad strokey. I almost feel like Bob Ross just doing a painting. Nothing can ever go wrong. There's nothing but happy accidents everywhere and you can always go back. So in my opinion, this plugin is work of art. I'm gonna be using it a lot. And now I know exactly why Jesse was so excited when he shared this plugin with me. But for now, my friend, this video has been way too long. And if you stay till the very end, please go ahead in the comment section, type even better so that I know that you stayed till the very end and that you're a real one. But other than that, my friend, the comment section is open for you for any other thing that you want to tell me. If you have any suggestions for more videos, or if you just want to holla at your boy, make sure that you do it right here in the comment section down below. While you're there, make sure that you like, subscribe. If you can financially support me, smash that super thanks button. I thank you so much. And if you have some more time to watch another video, go watch this one right here and I'll be waiting for you right there, my friend. All right, see you soon.